The sun was beginning to dip behind the hills of Berkeley, California on September 29, 1978, when 15-year-old Mary Vincent stuck out her thumb. She was a runaway, headstrong and eager to get to her grandfather's house in Las Vegas. A blue van pulled over. Behind the wheel sat Lawrence Singleton, a 50-year-old merchant seaman with silver hair and a grandfatherly demeanor. He looked safe. He looked kind. Mary climbed in, unaware that she had just stepped into a rolling chamber of horrors. The descent as they drove toward the Central Valley, the atmosphere inside the van shifted from polite conversation to a suffocating tension. Singleton's questions became more invasive, his tone darker. When Mary grew uncomfortable and asked to be let out, the kindly old man vanished. He lunged at her, beating her into unconsciousness with a sledgehammer. When she woke, she was bound and trapped in the back of the van. For hours, Singleton subjected her to a brutal assault. But the true nightmare, the part that would cement this story in the annals of human resilience, began the next morning. The hatchet Singleton drove to a secluded cliffside near Del Puerto Canyon. He dragged Mary out of the van, but he didn't kill her, not immediately. Instead, he forced her onto the ground and with a heavy hatchet, chopped off both of her forearms. He didn't look back as he threw her naked, bleeding body over a 30-foot embankment. He drove away, convinced that the brush and the vultures would finish what he had started. The will to live Mary hit the bottom of the ravine, her body shattered and her life literally pouring out of her arms. Most people would have gone into shock and died within minutes, but Mary Vincent possessed a terrifyingly clear sense of survival. In the dirt, she found a strange clarity. She knew if she lay there, she was dead. She stood up, staggering through the brush. To stop the geysers of blood from her stumps, she did something instinctive and visceral. She packed her wounds with dry mud and dirt. The filth acted as a crude plug, slowing the hemorrhage. Then she began to climb. With no hands to grip the earth, she used her elbows, her knees, and her teeth to drag herself back up the 30-foot cliff. She reached the top and began to walk. She walked for miles in the freezing morning air, holding her severed limbs toward the sky to keep the blood from pumping out faster. When a couple driving by finally saw her, they didn't see a girl, they saw what looked like a ghost, caked in dried mud and blood, standing in the middle of the road. The final stand. Mary didn't just survive. She conquered. Only months after the attack, she walked into a courtroom. The room fell silent as she took the stand. When asked to identify her attacker, she didn't just point, she raised her new prosthetic arm and leveled the cold steel hook directly at Lawrence Singleton's face. Though Singleton was eventually released and committed another crime years later, Mary's legacy was set. She became a mother, an artist, and a warrior for victims' rights. She turned a story that was meant to end in a ditch into a lifelong testament to the fact that the human spirit is far harder to break than the human body.